Hello and welcome, fellow digital soldiers, to True Reporting. It is the 10th of September, and on today's podcast, we have a lot to get to as things are picking up quite rapidly. Friends, in this day in history, as we can see here, Andrew Jackson shuts down the second bank of the U.S. in 1833. On this day in history, guys, we all know that President Trump's going after the Federal Reserve. We're looking at how much money is being placed into the U.S. Treasury. These central banks are not doing too well anymore. There's something happening behind the scenes, and I think that the future is very, very bright for me and for you because of this administration. Don't get it twisted. We'll also be going over, this is quite disturbing, the entire UK population could be tested for CV in a week under ambitious plan. They're talking about not being able to leave your home for more than 24 hours, even if you test negative. We'll be talking about that. I don't like the sound of it. We'll be going over the fires that are taking place on the West Coast, also demonic possession within these Antifa members. It's quite obvious what's going on. Everything is becoming biblical. It's coming to the forefront, and I think each and every one of us can feel it in real time. We'll be talking about Jared Kushner, some 17 posts, and much, much more, guys. So I hope you stick around, you enjoy today's podcast, and always remember that it is always an honor for me to be on the front lines with each and every one of you, day in and day out, because in the end, as we all know, where we go one, we go all. Hey guys, I wanted to tell you about my sponsor, Health with TRUreporting.com. Did you know that after the age of 20, your body produces about 10% less collagen each passing decade? The visible results end up in being the appearances of wrinkles, flaky skin, hair loss, and dirty nails as we age. Consuming collagen provides support to counteract this. Very true. But just one type of collagen isn't enough. To support maximum full body benefits, you need to supply your body with 5 different types of collagen. That's extremely difficult and inconvenient in a normal diet. That's why Ageless Multi-Collagen was created. Ageless Multi-Collagen gives you the 5 types of collagen you need for 4 premium sources in one complete protein mix. I have some in my house right now. You'll enjoy powerful support for your skin, your hair, nails, joints, bones, so much stuff. Digestive system, it's unbelievable with results you can see and feel in just a few short weeks. As an added bonus, my friends, Ageless Multi-Collagen is non-GMO, which I know a lot of you really do take notice in. And there's 0 artificial colors, flavors, preservatives, sweeteners, gluten, and antibiotics. Get your own bag of Ageless Multi-Collagen for 51% off today, plus free shipping by going to healthwithtruereporting.com. You need to do this today or by clicking on the link in the description box below. Guys, again, this is healthwithtruereporting.com, and that description is down below the link. So please go ahead and click it. Get yourself some collagen. I think you're going to enjoy it just as much as you will enjoy this podcast here today. I hope you have a great afternoon, and I will talk to you very soon. Have a good one. All right, guys, it's good to have you aboard. Before we get into today's show, would you please go ahead and subscribe to my backup channel, True Reporting 2.0. We are approaching 20,000 subscribers, so please go on YouTube right now and click that subscribe button to my backup channel, just in case anything happens to this main channel. Also, please follow me on Twitter at True Reporting, and don't forget to leave a like. The more likes that this video receives, the more times it is recommended to other viewers, thus more eyes on the truth. And with that being said, my friends, let's go ahead and hop into it together. This is True Reporting. So, we were talking about Andrew Jackson a second ago. Check it out. This day in history, Andrew Jackson shuts down the second bank of the U.S. in 1833. President Andrew Jackson announces that the government will no longer use the second bank of the United States, the country's national bank, on September 10th, 1833. He then used his executive power, much like President Trump, don't you see the similarities, to remove all federal funds from the bank in the final salvo of what is referred to as the bank war. We're seeing it in real time. We're seeing that there's plenty of money being distributed into the U.S. Treasury. These central banks don't stand a chance. Think of the Vatican. Think of the Crown. Think of Saudi Arabia. I really, honest to God, believe that President Trump is in full control. The White Hats are in full control, and we're watching a movie in real time. We're watching it play out. A national bank had first been created by George Washington and Alexander Hamilton in 1791 to serve as a central repository for federal funds, just for America. The second bank of the United States was founded in 1816, 5 years after the first bank's charter had expired. Traditionally, the bank had been ran by a board of directors with ties to industry and manufacturing, and therefore was biased towards the urban and industrial northern states. Jackson, the epitome of frontiersmen, resented the bank's lack of funding for expansion into the unsettled western territories. Jackson also objected to the bank's unusual political, and there you go, economic power, and to the lack of congressional oversight over its business dealings. We're talking about the Rothschilds. We're talking about the Rockefellers. We're talking about central banking and how they are collapsing during this timeline over 100 years later. On this day, there are no coincidences, we've been told. So I wanted to share this with you. I think that the synchronicities are all coming together. I think we're supposed to witness all of this take place. And this is our path, guys. You, me, together, all as one, are witnessing history being created. And nothing could be greater. But remember, we have got to get through the darkness before we get to the lightness of what is part of this plan. The plan is unfolding, and I think we all have to just have faith in God, have faith in our president, and all will be okay. I just feel for the next 7 to 8 weeks that it's time to batten down the hatches and get ready for something that we have never seen before, all-out war. But again, once the war is over, which I think will be ending very soon, all will be back to normal. And what I mean by normal is something that we've never witnessed before. I think that a lot of this anxiety, this depression, this worrisome, this isolation will be lifted off of our shoulders, and it will be the golden age, and it will be right in front of our faces, and it is time for us to finally enjoy our lives. I wanted to speak on the UK population and how they could be tested for CV in a week under ambitious plan. I don't know what's going on with Boris Johnson. I thought he was a white hat. I thought that he was a good guy, but this seems to beg to differ. 10 million daily CV tests will be dished out to get Brits back to the footy, the theater, and their mate's house under new government plans costing almost $100 billion. The entire population of the UK could be tested in a week under Downing Street's ambitious Operation Moonshot program. The entire population. Think about that, guys. So as it breaks down, they kind of give us the rigmarole about everything. But once we get down to this, listen to this sentence. Under this plan, Brits would be swabbing themselves in the morning to be given a 24-hour pass to mingle without having to stick to social distancing rules. You have to swab yourself. Who are you going to give these to? You're going to give this to an army of scientists, probably British police officers, to leave your house. A person could prove that they have tested negative by either electronically presenting their results or showing a printed card. To who? You're going to have some guy knock on your door to allow you to leave? This is enslavement. The test will be trialed in the CV hotspot of Salford for the next month. However, critics have pointed out that hugely expensive plans cost almost as much as the NHS's yearly budget for England, almost $130 billion. The health service represents 20% of all public spending. The Moonshot, in quote, very strange name by the way, esoteric, could be, I'm not sure. Spending also equates to the cost of the nation's education budget and represents a near 30-fold increase in the UK's testing capacities. In a memo sent to the First Minister and Cabinet Secretaries in Scotland revealed by the BMJ, it was warned, in quote, this is described by the Prime Minister as our only hope for avoiding a second national lockdown before a vax or something the country cannot cannot afford. Do you know how much money the UK has? What are you talking about? They can't afford it, Boris. I don't like this guy anymore. I don't trust him. I think the blackmail has come to surface. I think they threatened him. Maybe it's not him. Maybe it's the puppeteering that is controlling him. You know, the ones that are above him, maybe the Crown, maybe the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, who knows? But the blackmail that we know is very real, and I think Boris Johnson has just been pigeonholed, allowing a shutdown, the entirety of the UK to be tested before they can leave their houses. This is very similar to what is also happening in Australia, as we have callers calling in on the live show telling us that their guns are gone, that they're not allowed to leave their homes for a certain amount of time. One person of the family is only allowed to go to the grocery store. Are you seeing the similarities yet? Guys, just pray to God and be thankful and grateful and appreciative that we have Donald Trump as our leader, and the whole world knows it. The whole world is watching America because we are leading the world, and this is very dangerous for Australia and the UK. We should pray for them, send them our love, because in fact, they are also part of this digital army, this movement that is taking place. It's not just Americans, it's all of us. We are in this together. Where we go one, we go all, correct? Moving forward, I wanted to talk about these fires. We all know, we've talked about this time and time again. It's the same old plan that they've been doing for 20 or 30 years. It's slush funds. They don't care who dies in the crosshairs of what they're doing, whether it's direct energy weapons. Perhaps it is set purposefully by people of the MB. If you don't know what that means, please look on the 17 posts. Could it be set by agitators, Antifa? You know, who knows? But we all know that it is not organic what's taking place. Coming at us from Caro Taylor, we can see here 5 of California's 20 largest fires are this year. 2020 is 1/3, all 20 combined, after the first week of September. Dramatic 24-hour 97,000 jump put it at number 9. Creek Fire, number 17, 0% has been contained. August Complex, still only 24% contained. California fires, this is not normal. The data shows it, and we see that 17's posted pictures of Nancy Pelosi, and within that meme saying happy holidays, burning down the West Coast. It's slush fund, it's illegal, and I guarantee you that the administration, the military, is going to show this to the people of California, and it's going to go red. I can see the president winning 90% plus in the election. I can totally see it, and they're going to try to say that he cheated. They're going to try and cheat. There may be some turmoil after the fact. I'm sure there will be, but once all the dust settles, we all know the truth. A lot of people, my friends, are going to be placed in the handcuffs and or will not be able to walk down the street. Now, speaking of these fires, a lot of people, say, oh, this could be matrixing. What we are witnessing is biblical. What we are witnessing has never been seen before, so I do not consider this matrixing. I don't consider this Photoshop. We see how these people act. We know what they do behind the scenes, speaking on children, speaking on spirit cooking. They have deities. They worship fallen gods, fallen angels, however you want to put it, in whichever way. But check this out. From Truth and Justice, please follow them at Melody in Your Storm. The West Coast is burning like hell. Did someone open a portal or something? She may be joking, but I believe that in actuality, could there have been a portal open? Absolutely. These people worship evil. They want to have evil circumference this planet to keep us held down, oppressed, sad, anything that you can imagine, full of anger, polarization. This is what they do. Divide and conquer. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Put on the whole armor of God, patriots, and pray like our lives depend on it. I ache for the people and especially the animals. This is not their fault. Look at these pictures. I will show them to you very briefly. You can pause the podcast if you'd like. My friends, these are faces. This is not matrixing. This is not being photoshopped. This right here, the horns, the growling, angrily looking face, the nose. I mean, it's very apparent. This looks like multiple faces, actually. I mean, look at this. A skull glaring down. I can see it, and I know you can too. So speaking of portals and this being biblical, we can see this coming at us from thegatewaypundit.com. Demonic possession at the Portland riots. The forces of darkness are winning the battle of Portland because they have enlisted demonic help. In fact, it seems Antifa, Black Lives Matter forces in Portland are operating under the command and control of satanic headquarters. Would you even doubt it for 1 second? How demons operate. Very interesting, guys, and I hope you share this with your normie friends, as this is very, very spiritual. We are in between a spiritual war, a holy war, if you will, simultaneously coexisting with an informational war. The spiritual world is legalistic. Demons are allowed to tempt humans. If the human exercising free will responds to the demonic prompts, trouble ensues. Adam C. Blay is the paradise of religious demonology and exorcism for the Catholic Diocese of Pittsburgh, and one of the leading lay experts on demons in the United States. He has assisted ordained priests in dozens of solemn exorcisms and hundreds of less severe cases. In his book, Hauntings, Possessions, and Exorcisms, Blay provides basic facts about the human-demon interaction. Demons are fallen angels, which they worship. The spiritual world is legalistic. God makes the rules, and the spirits cannot break them. Humans exercise free will in choosing whether or not to respond to demonic overtures. This free will permits humans to surrender their legal rights to demons, which they have done. The elite liberals, the elite Democrats have done this. We all know about spirit cooking. We've seen the Podesta emails. We've seen the WikiLeaks drops where Hillary Clinton is sacrificing a chicken to Moloch. We can see that there's $65,000 sent to Barack Obama's house, the White House, at 3 or 2:30 in the morning, whichever it may be. They are up to something very dark. And I believe that these lefty elites, these people that have been in power for so long, have literally surrendered their legal rights to these demons. For what, you may ask? For power, for sex, for control, for wealth. Demons are limited to whatever legal rights people have given them by their free will choices. The free will choices our parents for their children can provide legal rights for interactions. Parents can turn over their children's bodies to demons. It's true. There are 5 types of spiritual cases, but the 2 types that seem to be at work in Antifa and Black Lives Matter are oppression and possession. Once a person has surrendered his legal rights to demons, only God can restore the person's freedom, and only with the will and consent of oppressed and possessed. Normal demonic oppression and possession. In most cases of possession, the possessed do something to surrender some legal rights to demons. Actions that can invite demonic influence, including participating in a seance, which is what is spirit cooking, you may ask, right? Play with a Ouija board, ask some spirit of nature to assist them in finding a job, meeting a mate. But mere sinfulness, neglect of prayer, or wishing for temporal gains can open the door to evil spirits. Once we crack the door to the diabolic demons exploiting this invitation to demand, we surrender even more rights to them. The possessed want to be free from the demonic possession, but is afraid of the demons. Michael Cryon, an educator in an institute for the mentally disabled, explains the process. Feeling lonely after a divorce, Kyron decided to seek answers with a pendulum and Scrabble letters. Having fallen away from the Catholic faith of his youth, Kyron turned to the spirit world for help. He told the National Catholic Register in 2019 interview. But one day the letter said, "Now we won't need the pendulum anymore. We will talk to you directly from inside you." And I immediately heard weird voices coming from my head, from my chest and throat. They wanted to show me they could totally control me. At some point, they said it is the devil speaking. I was so afraid. I trashed the pendulum right away and went immediately to bed. I slept like a brick. When I woke up, they started playing with me. "Yesterday we scared you, but now we will tell you the truth," they said. At this point, Kyron was demonically oppressed. He was scared. Demons were now communicating with him from inside. Soon, Michael Kyron's bad dream of oppression would turn into a full-time nightmare of possession. Guys, we are seeing this taking place with those that are in Antifa. We've seen how they act, throwing fire and rocks, fireworks at police officers, shooting each other. What are they on? What are they doing? Who are they a part of? We all know that GS is paying them off, giving them debit cards, giving them transportation. What are they getting in return? What are they sacrificing to get to that point of actually going along with this? This is not how normal human beings act. There's so much hatred and anger and so little love and respect and just happiness within these people. I can only imagine that they are fully possessed at this point. This is light versus darkness. This is going to be biblical. We are witnessing end times, the end of their time, guys. It is the age of light, the golden age, which is waiting for us. We just have to see through it, have faith, read your Bibles, hold on to your faith, your family, yourself. Take care of yourself, guys, because this is what we are witnessing. It's quite obvious, guys, what's taking place in Portland and in other places that are burning to the ground. Now listen to this. How many people are praying for the good to prevail in Portland? Not many. In Rochester, in Denver. What would happen if thousands or millions of Americans recognize that, in quote, our struggle again is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms? What would happen if we were to put down our guns and put on the full armor of God? I think the Gateway pundit surely watches the boards. So that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground, and after you have done everything to stand. That is an exact quote from Q. Perhaps it is time to call in the cavalry of heaven so that we can stand firm then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition to all this, take up the shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of Spirit, which is the word of God. The struggle in America is of human origin, but one side is called in superior air support. Let's level the battlefield by begging help from the angels of God, from Our Lady Queen of Victories, from the entire heavenly host. For as St. Paul reminds us, our struggle is not against flesh and blood. Why do the elite left, they never talk down about these movements? Because in fact, they are the foot soldiers of these deities, these fallen angels. I can promise you that. It is a very special time we are witnessing, but also a very dangerous time that we are witnessing. So my friends, remember, just have faith in your God, have faith in yourself, and we will get through this together. I wanted to touch on two short things before we end the podcast here today. Kushner, this is actually from yesterday. Kushner says, Alice in Wonderland, in quote, this is coming from the Left Wing Hill, describes Trump's presidency, Woodward book, Alice in Wonderland. Where have we heard that? Also another quote. We go to the boards, 2636, Hillary Clinton, Mad Hatter. Hillary directs reference to Land of Alice and the Mad Hatter. White Rabbits is the name of you-know-what's. Alice in Wonderland from the Mad Hatter. It's all over the place, guys. I believe what it means is our world has been completely inverted. And once we go down the rabbit hole, our world will never be the same. We are awakening together. I find it very interesting that Kushner says this. I know a lot of you may have your doubts about this man, but he is part of the Trump family. Is he an infiltrator? Who knows? But him saying this line right here makes me very suspicious that he may be a part of the White Hat movement, and he may be a part of what we all are experiencing and what we have all been shown. I will leave you with this, guys. Did you hear it too? I am the Q leader for this country to round off the podcast. This is the president speaking last night. Take a listen, and you tell me what you think in the comment section below.
Going wild, don't panic. I'm a cheerleader for this country, and I don't want to see panic. And I don't going wild, don't panic. I'm a cheerleader for this country, and I don't want to see panic.
I'm a Q leader for this country, so do not panic. We are not the ones panicking, Mr. President. They are the ones panicking because their world is collapsing right in front of their eyes. My friends, I hope you thoroughly enjoyed this podcast. Remember, this is all biblical. We are all here to witness it. We are all here to embrace it and adjust to it because that's our purpose. If you found this informative and you enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on Twitter at TRUreporting, and do not forget to leave a like. Guys, we will get through this together, I can promise you. And always remember that it's an honor for me always to be on the front lines with each and every one of you day in and day out. Because in the end, where we go one, we go all. Guys, if you found what you just watched informative and you enjoyed it, then please subscribe to the True Reporting family today. There are many ways to support this channel, like our Patreon link, our PayPal link, and our TRUreporting.us official website link in the description box below. Join the True Reporting family today and be a part of history, because where we go one, we go all.